And I'm like, it's just a matter of moments before I can sit naked
Right.
in my own yard.
Wait, but there's an apartment complex behind you, right?
Hence the 6 foot privacy fence.
Okay, but
That's
it's like a 3-story building, isn't it?
yeah, well, yeah. There's like certain
Like
angles.
the people on the top floor are like,
Yeah, so like I'm already planning like where my dipping pool's gonna be, where no one can see it, because it's gonna
Good.
take, a year for the bamboo to actually grow in and,
Yeah.
cover it up. So for those who are bopping in, and I should bring up my LinkedIn page in case people comment. I can comment there. I always recommend that as a good practice for going live, is having like, whatever main page you're going to have that up in case comments come in, or you can like and chat and that, and it kind of drives the algorithm too a little bit. But what are we building? What are we working on? Like, we're working on so much.
so many
like,
things.
Like, let's just itemize it to start with, of like some of the big changes that we're working on.
The resource library has
Super
been
pumped.
very
about the
exciting.
resource.
Yeah.
So that's going to live on State of the Spark.
Yeah.
And this is going to be like our repository of products and trainings and teachings and resources and downloadables.
All the things.
It's going to be baller as hell.
Yes. It's going to be pretty. I'm excited to make it pretty too.
It is. And like I've in the back of my mind put our characters for our NFT stuff. I put it in the back of my mind because we've already got the design style in. And once the design style is in, we can layer that in later. But like just having them done helped us with the design. And now that we don't need them at the moment, I think, is where it's at. For those checking in, this is Grant and Amber and Jessica from State of the Spark, and this is our Ask Us Anything show. We could talk about aliens, Nibiru. We could talk about the web. Facebook user says hello. Not hello, but hello.
I like that better.
Hello. I don't know who you are, but hi. For some reason, it didn't come through, so hi to you. Introduce yourself and tell us what you're up to. And then ask us anything. You could ask what Jessica's drinking. We know that Amber's drinking Gatorade, so that's always keeping hydrated.
I got this for free.
Nice.
At the beach.
Was it already open?
No. Okay, so
Who was there? when you got there?
you guys know I had this life-changing.
Paul Beardmore.
Oh, yay!
You guys know I had this life-changing trip to the beach with my kids this weekend, early in the morning for sunrise. And this sweet lady came out from one of the Airbnbs, this old lady, and she was like, "Can you please take all these waters and
You gotta be careful about that. Arsenic and old lace is what I'm talking about.
I know. I was like, maybe it's going to be laced with LSD. We don't really know. But I drank from it first before I let my kids, have any of it. It's fine. It's not LSD laced.
Yeah. What's the military protocol? You like rub your lip with it and give it 10, 15 minutes and see if you swell up or it goes numb. Then you roll your palm here and like sensitive areas. Like if you think about like when you get poison ivy.
Yeah.
You if you have a suspicious substance, you put it on those places first, and then like
So
it's
nobody
good.
had
It's
any
Gatorade.
LSD trips or anything from the Gatorade. But I actually tried to tell the lady because it was just me and the boys, and we didn't bring a ton of stuff with us. And I'm thinking she brings out all these Gatorades, and I'm like, how am I supposed to carry all of this? Like, where am I putting it
bag? She's just
Well, I was like, can't you just leave it at your Airbnb? And she was like, no, it said not to leave anything behind.
Oh, my goodness.
I was like, okay, sure. And she was like, we got to go catch a flight. We're from out of town. Like, she would, because I was like, I don't want your stuff, lady. It's weird. But anyway, it's my free Gatorade.
With our Airbnb, like I'm always like, did someone leave chocolate?
I know.
So I open the fridge and I'm always like disappointed that no one left chocolate.
I'll give you some of my free Gatorades if you want.
So we're building the resource library. Super pumped about that. For those popping in, like sneak peeking this, our hope is that at our live event at the end of the quarter, we actually kind of unveil and maybe even make it available to those who attend that event for a year or 6 months or something like that for free or whatever included in their tickets. That would be super fun if we can figure that out. But our hope is to unveil it there, and there's a whole way for people just to get all of our best of the best
Yeah.
knowledge there. So that'll be super fun. What else have we been working on? I feel like we've been working on a lot. I guess live events.
Yeah. And the content for a year projects, we've had, a few of those now. So I feel like we're getting
Dude,
very good
you're
at
not
it.
kidding. So like you're just hitting on a whole new thing. So the content for a year, I'm going to itemize it. Content for a year. So here, let me pop that. There's that. So we're working on that. But then you know what else that makes me think of is the other product that I want to do that is only in concept phase in our pipeline, but that's infinite content for life,
Yeah.
which is based on an automation that we're working on. Have either of you had even a microsecond to look at that Make app?
No, but I have all the hope in the world that I will today.
Yeah, that would be all the hope. I mean, we could pull it up now and just build it in the open, like, and
Yeah.
show people kind of how.
You should
You want to
pull it
look
up.
at it?
Yeah, let's do it.
You want to? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm excited now. I'm suddenly excited.
Because I'm
Okay.
curious if this is similar to another thing that one of my kids has called Make. And it has to do with coding. So I'm just interested to see what this is.
Maybe, but does it look like this? Hold on. Let's see that. There we go. Does it look like this?
No, it's called like Make Block or something.
No, so this is the one that I and Jackie Roach were working on an experiment that I've mentioned before. And it does function like Zapier, but I think the user experience, the user interface is way better. And the integration with ChatGPT is second to none. And then the routers are interesting. So check this out. So you have like a ton going on here, stuff I haven't even touched yet, but really you go into scenarios. And let's see here, create daily posts. This is one I was working on for us. Can we create content for life? I mentioned this on one of our calls. Can we create content for life so that we're always ranking? And how detailed can we get in how this works? So if you notice, like, there's like, it starts with a Google Sheet, which is where our prompt starts. It talks to OpenAI. And then it has this tool called an iterator that spans it out. And then it goes back into Google Sheets because we use that again. Then it aggregates into a WordPress post. And so it's basically parsing data. But like, I want to show you the OpenAI component. So you create your connection. You ask it like a prompt completion. But this is where it kind of gets cool where can I map? There we go. So what I can use, where it says model, I can actually pick a model. Let's go text DaVinci. Oh, here we go. Here's the prompt. This pulls from every preceding step. So I'll hit the watch new rows component and it will set up, I got to run it, I guess. It will set up the new row. So let's go over here and actually go back here. Search for path. Yes. My drive. Click here to choose file. So in the drive, it'll pick your spreadsheet. So I'll just pick this one. And actually, I'll pick the actual file. It'll queue up the spreadsheet. I'm going to call it prompts because that's kind of how we're set up. Table contains headers. Yes. Rows with headers. Okay. And then limit the maximum number of results to be worked on during any one execution cycle. So if I'm doing a blog post every 15 minutes or every day, I don't want it to do 2 or 3. So I'm going to limit it to, I just want it to pull 1 row and then click OK. Now that should prompt. And now I can set a timing here, like at regular intervals. Let's just say every day and just leave it at that and set a certain time. And here, it will basically check this Google Sheet every day at that time.
Wow.
So then I go back to OpenAI and I've already got it set up, but I go into prompt and this is what I was going to show you. This is basically what amounts the API labels that are being pulled in. And so I just tell it, okay, let's pull row number, spreadsheet ID. Let's look for the prompt here under prompt A. And so now it knows to look in that field, basically.
Yeah.
And so then it keeps going down the line. Like the iterator will then say, let's pull an array. So now the iterator is pulling both from Google Sheets with all these IDs, as well as whatever OpenAI is doing. And under OpenAI, basically we give it a prompt here. OpenAI will then generate something, and I'll pull that from like right here. Boop. There we go. And so now that's how it's populating in the iterator. And so you don't have to know like what iterator means, but it's basically pushing it back into a different section in Google Sheets. Now, if you notice, that's kind of what our content bot already, those 4 steps,
Yeah.
our content bot kind of already does to a degree, but our content bot's shown to be kind of buggy now and again.
Yeah. It's inconsistent at times for sure.
Correct. And so in here, like where it would go here is, let's go select from path. Let's go to my drive. Let's choose a file. So we chose this spreadsheet ID, and we were pulling from prompts, but there's the social database. So I wanted to push this information here. And so I start like naming where all this stuff goes. These are the headers.
Right.
And start kind of parsing it out. So like for us, this would be like the title, the subtitle, and the actual content of the article.
Yeah.
Or you can even say the name, description, image link. You could set it up however you want. And then the aggregator would then aggregate the information. There's some settings there you got to play with. The aggregator's kind of tricky. But then in WordPress, I connect it to WordPress, and now I can pull any field from any one of those steps, and I'm basically mapping it to the WordPress API.
Interesting.
So Amber, you and I have been talking about APIs a little bit, and what happens with the REST API is like WordPress has fixed buckets information goes in. They're little labels like title. And it's the same for every WordPress website.
Right.
Title, content, tags, categories, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we just have to get the data and then put that data and map it so
Yeah.
that the data that's getting put out matches the REST API here. And now everything's matchy-matchy, and now I can schedule a post.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And so then here, what I then do is I'll go this, and I'll type in router, and you can see it pulls from, it's kind of like Zapier. It pulls
Yeah,
from
I was going to say it looks like Zapier.
But this thing's called flow control, and you've seen iterator, aggregator, router. Now I'm going to go Instagram.
This was what I was waiting for.
Yeah, man. And we toyed with this a little bit, and you saw that there was Instagram for business. So if your account is a business account, get media, download media, return. So this looks like it's only getting media. So let's actually see if we can't push Instagram. Well, Instagram for business. Can I? Oh, there we go. Create a post. Okay. Create a photo post. Can I create a story? No, I can list stories. So no. So basically, Amber, thinking of this in terms of APIs, this talks to Instagram, and Instagram says, you know, an API says there's a get protocol, a create protocol, a list protocol. Well, those are uniform across most REST APIs. So in this case, unfortunately, Jessica, it doesn't look like we can do a story.
But it can do a reel.
It looks like it can do a reel, and it's assuming we've made a reel because we got WordPress here. So this is a WordPress post. And
So if we had the image, like it could.
It doesn't animate it the way Canva does, unless the image in here was that video. What I think this would be useful for is just to create a photo post and fill up the photo feed, in all honesty.
Yeah, because you don't, well, and the thing is, you don't want to automate all of your posts. Nobody out there is going to automate every single post that they send out. There's just a certain, some of them need high touch, like they need your voice, and you can't necessarily get that from this. And so this would be really useful for like, yeah, just like those static posts.
LinkedIn, like just going to all of our stuff. Now, Jessica, you raise a really interesting point. And again, for anyone bopping in, like this is just us hanging, talking, building in the open because of what we're automating with our own business. But if you have questions about literally anything, Marshmallow Fluff and how we first experimented with ChatGPT for Marshmallow Fluff, do ask. So let me get out of here, Jessica, and answer your thought. So in your world, I might create a new scenario and I might use, check this out, Google Drive. Come on. There's Google Drive. And watch files in a folder is what I think we might want to pay attention. Triggers when a file is created or modified. Triggers when a file is created or modified. Let's just use this first one. Let's pretend we connected. So if we had a folder in Google Drive titled Videos for Reels, every time you created something in Canva as a video and dropped it in, it will check once a day, right? Let's just say it will check daily. We'd pick a time in the morning sometime. You would drop them in there, and I think we even set terms like only use the latest one or whatever it is. Then you could go here and click Instagram for business and create a reel. Let's just pretend we set all that up. Yep, great. And then, we forgot to add a router. So, because what I want is, I want this to go, come on, Yanarnar. Unlink, there we go. Let's move this person away. Let's add a router. So flow
This is so
control.
fun to watch.
Well, and you can tell it's a bit more fun than freaking Zapier.
It's
you know?
visually entertaining.
Yeah, Zapier is like, it's so boring to me, and I zone out immediately.
So let's do that. There we go. And you see how it kind of just bounced in? I'm
Love
going to
it.
get rid of this one. There we go. So here we go. So now the router will route this to multiple places. And then maybe, I don't know, can it go to YouTube? I haven't even experimented with this yet. Oh, it doesn't have a YouTube. Dang. That's wild. Where else do we post video?
Facebook.
And this is what I was looking at here, Amber.
For Google Business.
So get, list, get, create. So I think that this will connect right in. And Amber, this is where you have to get a client ID from the Google Developer Console and the client secrets. So you'll go back in, create a project specifically for us, and then we could go ahead and post. And Jessica, once the connection is set up, then you can use it here, but then we could also use that in the scenario we were just looking at, where we were doing the other WordPress gets distributed. So we know that the WordPress posts are going to get distributed here as a photo post and here as a text post, but we can do your videos by just getting dropped into a specific Google Drive folder. And then you know it's on autopilot and you're not manually posting, you're just doing the creative part.
Yeah. Well,
In
and
theory.
this is like this is already solving a problem that we have, which is that you can't schedule posts on Google Business. But you wouldn't need, this solves that.
This is the API thing, and I know that you and I were riffing, Amber, on doing it ourselves. We still need to go down that path of
Right.
understanding APIs, but this is effectively creating. It hasn't that instruction link here of using the Google API user data services and then adding your information. So you're going to have to set it up anyway.
Right.
But now we know that we're just focused on creative for that week. What's our messaging? And then you could even go take stuff further by going, well, we know quarterly we do these events. Well, what if we set up a whole scenario that would queue up and space out the particular promotional tools we use to promote for our events? How do we just automate that so that somewhere we just change the ticket, the Eventbrite page or something like that, but the scenario is always generating the content. You could connect to MailChimp. You can connect to a lot. So like right now, I'm wondering if there's even a way, Jessica, if you title the video correctly, not gobbledygook, but actually write the title. I'm wondering if we can't insert steps with ChatGPT to write a title and a description with our pre-formatted emojis, our pre-formatted link in bio sort of phrase, so that when it goes here, you like curiosity is like, well, what do I write in all these things? And it's like, man, what if we just found intercepting steps for that? So you can tell I'm kind of like, I'm nerding out a little bit. And then they have all of these templates. Save, yeah, save anyway.
And there's templates.
It's thinking. There we go. Now, these are very simple, but like, let's say, what template were you just daydreaming about, Jessica?
Just the possibility that it's already kind of set up. I didn't have one in particular.
So MailChimp, I mean, let's just see what we got. Google Sheets to MailChimp. Well, we know that like we know that we could inject OpenAI. So what if we use this template
Yeah.
and stuck an intermediate step that kind of like puts the text in there for us? Here you go. WordPress to MailChimp. What else we got? MailChimp, I don't know what placeholder is. HubSpot, we don't use any of those tools ourselves. Teachable to MailChimp. Add new Teachable user to a MailChimp mailing list. There we go. Someone signs up for one of our courses, they just drop right into our mailing list.
Smart.
You can book me. There you go. Someone books with us on our Google Calendar.
MailChimp
Can
to
they pipe
ClickUp.
right into MailChimp instead of us adding them? And I've been thinking about our CRM too. Like right now, we run our CRM. Whoop, I'm sorry, Jarrett. Jarrett's asking us questions and I'm just ignoring his ace. Here, hang on. Is this a free tool? I came in 5 minutes ago. Jarrett, so this is the, I'll bring up the homepage. It's not free. It's free to get set up. I think the pricing is based on like as many connections as you have. And Jarrett, we're nerding out about this because it's kind of an exponential version of Zapier because of the integrations with ChatGPT, which we could look at a little bit there. So it's not free, but it's powerful enough that when we think about AI, and just going back and I'll point it out, I won't go in depth, but I'll show you. I'm just going to do it. I wonder where Jackie's at. So I'll just show you one that me and Jackie are actually doing. This one's set up. We have a sheet that has a prompt. And you know what? I'll just show it to you. You know what? Jackie might go, what are you doing? And it's like, well, I get retargeted. They're advertising all the time.
She
for
did
this
start
stuff.
following our socials today, so she might see it.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Oh, I'm not logged in. Dadgummit. I'm not logged in, so I can't show you at the moment. But I basically have a prompt in here. And then I have it pull in the prompt we set up. And right now I think it's called Chalcedony Dreamscapes. And that's how we had DALL-E come up with these journals.
Oh, you got it in your hand. That's cool.
I've been using it. Yeah, it's a Printify product.
Nice.
But the art, we basically fed it, you know, this prompt about the chalcedony stone or whatever it is,
Yeah.
mineral. So then that's where this prompt came from, Amber. It pulled from that Google Sheet and it had that value, and I dropped that value in there. And so I tell OpenAI, you know, what size we want there. And then I want the response format in the form of a URL from OpenAI, from DALL-E, like Midjourney, right?
Mm-hmm.
I only want it to generate one image. So let's actually run this module on. Check this out. Oh, I got a warning. Oh, because I haven't done this one yet. So let's just run the stupid thing. So it's now running. Oh, something's up. My connection must be interrupted. Invalid argument, unable to parse range. Okay, so right now I need to go and set this back up. It's a little flawed. But when I run this, the prompt runs automatically. It reads it. OpenAI will generate the art. Do I even have like an old output? So then I have a prompt here. This is super fun. Create an artist name. So basically, we create this prompt. And this prompt is create an abstract name for an artist that painted and sculpted in the 1200s. It can be male or female. It should have a Middle Eastern or North African influence on the name. And it can also include alternate English, Spanish, or Arabic words for art, sculpture, abstract, or creative. And like, we want to dial this in a bit. but it comes up with these names that sound like Middle Eastern for these artists
Yeah.
and this abstract work. And I'll show you the work. I can show you the work that we're outputting shortly with it. Then I have a product description. Create a product description of the canvas. It pulls for that same prompt in 400 characters or less. Include the artist name, and I connect to the artist name here. You can see it pulsing over there on the left. And add 7. What is he saying? I'll have to run. Love these office hours. Take it easy, man. Thanks for stopping by. Add 7 relevant hashtags to the end of it. It comes up with the whole thing.
Okay.
This is what I was thinking about the Instagram. We could just tell it, come up with 7 hashtags, and here's the format I want. And this sort of format is how we would say, like and subscribe or link in bio for tickets to our event or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We can just set that up here. Then it has this measurement, which I find is very interesting. It's called temperature, and it's an OpenAI. It's an OpenAI API setting, and it's try 0.9 for more creative applications. So higher values means the model will take more risks. Creativity levels on a scale
That's
of
so
0 to
cool.
1. And then how many completions to generate the prompt, and then how unique do you want it? And so then you set that up, boom, and then you go to this connection to Printify, and you tell it to map the file name, which we got in here, the image URL, which we got over here, and basically upload that photo to Printify. Then Printify says create a product based on my upload, and it pulls the upload. Where's the URL? Right there. It pulls the upload from the step I just uploaded it into Printify. So you can see it has more and more variables to work with the further in you go. And then you tell it to publish a product, and you basically select however many products you want. You could select 10 products. Right now, we just have it doing canvases. Nice. Then it has an iterator, and then that goes into Google Sheets. Now, let me show you the output. This is a Shopify site, by the way, connected to Printify. We're experimenting with it. It generated all of these, and then let me go to admin so that you can see some of the names and stuff of some of the products. And so we're just in the setup phase ourselves. Who says what's good, super friends? Who is this in Facebook? For some reason, the name's not coming through. Yeah. Introduce yourself and tell us whether or not you believe in aliens. And Shopify. Well, that's how I feel about Shopify as well. Samesies, but the automations are pretty on point. But let me show you. Oh, here we go. This is a made-up product, made-up character, made-up name. The artist is Artifex Mahmoud. This stunning abstract painting by Artifex Mahmoud brings a colorful, vibrant feel to your living room. Forest and mountains is printed on a durable cotton canvas. This piece is a perfect addition to complement any home decor. And there's the piece.
We can't see your screen, you know that,
Yeah, we
right?
can't see any of this.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
I've just been like,
Yeah, I know.
Okay, hang on, sorry.
Beautiful.
No, hang on. My apologies.
Oh, I thought Super Friends. I was like, is that Grant from a different universe?
It's his facey face.
That's Marissa.
Oh, yay.
Yay.
That's Marissa. She saw us go live, and she's working at her parents' house in Texas, and I think she's feeling a little alone. She's got her puppy playing in the lake, but
I saw that.
She very rarely checks in on our show. So hi, Marissa.
Please join us.
So this right here is basically this full product, and let's just go to the collections. Or let's go to the products. Where are we at? And all of these products with these kind of Middle Eastern, South African names, I really actually like this piece.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it created all of that?
It created all of it based on this was a forest and mountain theme abstract. I actually love this piece.
Yeah, that's really good colors.
Oh my
completely goodness. And here's like a mock-up. It does the mock-ups. And it's like, I want that canvas. Look at Jessica's face. That's too funny. But I mean, that looks tasteful. And I was I know Marissa likes this one. I was even mentioning to Jackie, I believe, I said, this one is targeted towards all is possible is targeted towards a Christian consumer audience. We have a lot of affinity for that group. We understand that group, so that's what that's for. But I was telling Marissa, whoever, what if you had an Airbnb decor themed Shopify shop, and it produced. Literally, you could set it to produce a new piece every 15 minutes.
That's
And it,
nuts.
it costs you nothing. And so then it distributes automatically to Google Shopping, so Google searches, Etsy, Amazon, and Instagram shop. So the idea is in a single year, you have 800,000 units out. 1% of them ever get viewed. So 8,000 of them will ever get viewed and maybe purchased. And that's sales, but not runaway sales. And less than 1% of those will have runaway sales. So about 80 of these will have runaway sales. And you've done nothing but set up the autopilot. So that's kind of what that one alone does. And then what else here? I know Marissa would like that one. That's so funny. That one came from Forest and Mountain Designs. And then the social posting automation is actually the distribution to those places. And we got to finish setting this one up. Google Sheets, the router, Instagram for Business, Facebook pages, and then Google Sheets. So that's what I'm thinking. But like, I think this tool, let's zoom back out. I think tools like this are going to make 3-person businesses make way more progress, especially as we think about content for content for life. There's content for a year, but like, why couldn't I just have it create content for life?
Forever.
For like one of these whole trains can be about, let's just say, Jessica, we set one and it only does Mondays. And the one on Mondays focuses on SEO. That's it. The one on Wednesday focuses, and it's just every Wednesday it checks, and every Wednesday everything goes out and it talks about, like, we already said SEO, it talks about design.
Yeah.
And we feed it's not like we're not feeding it. We would feed the Google Sheet like prompts of like the things we were seeing and the things it should create. But why wouldn't we experiment? If we knew that SEO works and believed in it, why wouldn't we have our thing on autopilot, 1 post a day for life?
Yeah, because content for a year is great, but you're only setting yourself up for the next year. And
correct.
People are they going to come back in 6 months and start to plan for the next year? Or, it's not just a one-time thing. And we know that.
Yeah. Well, and another use here is, like, there's always this idea of repurposing old content. Well, you could actually have it check WordPress, like on a schedule, it check WordPress for a year ago this day or 6 months ago this day, and find, get post, feed that to ChatGPT and say, write a summary of this content.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then say, a year
take
ago
all
today,
of the content you were using a year ago and still be using it, but it's just reworded.
A year ago today, we did this and this, and you have the URL to the old post, so you link back to the old post. And then you say, and then you have it prompt with, other links that might be useful for current knowledge about this SEO topic. Just have it search and pull up links and attach it and just repurpose content. So I don't know.
The power of AI.
This is the skill though. Like people we were talking, for those watching, I don't know who's watching now, but like we were talking and making fun of Jess or Amber for like, I'm going to learn JavaScript. And it's like, it's good to know, man. You got to know that stuff. But like, I think the real hard skills to take people into the future are routing, automations, and AI. Do I get how to route stuff from here to here and move it and program it intelligently? So
this is interesting too, because I had actually an interesting, I'm not technically stuck yet because I refuse to give up, but I was setting up an RSS email in Constant Contact for one of our clients, or that's what I was supposed to be doing. And when I went to set it up, I realized that it's not an option. Like there's no straightforward way to do it anymore. and that the article that I was reading, even
That's
though
wild.
the article said it was from 4 months ago, and I even went through and found more like documentation from Constant Contact where they're like, yeah, this is no longer an option. And their suggestion is to add like basically just a button that links to your blog page. That's their workaround, is to add a read more block, which is a button. And so I'm like,
What?
so I can't schedule. So I was like, so they basically they're because you can't schedule that either, because this particular, the RS feed email that goes out, or that was going out for this client previously, goes out, it checks weekly for new posts. And if there's no new posts, then it doesn't go out. But if there's posts, then it sends a summary of all the new ones that came out. It's not an option in Constant Contact. And so,
I'm struggling to believe this.
I know. I've been Googling, like right up until I was preparing for my one-on-one, I was Googling, and I was in the Constant Contact account, like actually trying to set it up. And I could not figure out a way to set up an email campaign for an RSS feed.
You'll be glad to know that Make it does contacts. It can create an email campaign.
So it can create an email campaign, but can it create an email campaign that begins Googling this now? I love watching the comments. Yeah, so I just
Yeah, well, no, it can be. It can because Marissa. I think that's Marissa.
I love Marissa.
I think what it could do is it could monitor that particular WordPress connection.
Correct. And see if there's new posts.
And see if there's new posts, and then we could see what the functions are of creating a campaign.
Yeah, sure.
And
you're
if
right.
the create campaign can just maybe do a list or do like a summary.
Yeah, because my only other option was I created a quick template of like one that they could send out manually each week. Was my backup option, but I was like, there has to be a way to do this. And I even looked in Zapier.
Zapier, please. Come on.
Zapier, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I'm weird about pronunciation.
Hey, let me give you one. Give you one. Yeah, hold your thought.
Zapier.
Zapier. Yeah, it could be Canadian French. And speaking of Canadian French, my good friend Aussie from Not Crypto Bros, he goes, we were talking about gaming consoles, and he said, like Nintendo and Sega. And I'm like, say that again. He goes, Sega, like the hedgehog. And I was like, do you mean Sega? And it's whatever. I said, it's not whatever.
No, in the song, when you turn on the system, it goes Sega.
And do you remember the commercials like Sega?
Yes.
So anyways, Amber, back to your not stuck.
Well, yeah. So I was even trying to see if I could find a Zap that would do it, and I wasn't successful in that yet.
That's weird that Zap wouldn't do it, but it is. I do think you might be able to monitor WordPress in make.com and find a solution there. And that's the thing, like somewhere. This is the thing, like we were talking about getting stuck before and how I'm such a good troubleshooter, and I really do think I am. And some of it's just we've been in tech for so long. But other of it is I just assume somebody has solved this already.
I'm saying.
And
I was so frustrated when I was finding the threads from Constant Contact's like documentation where they're like, no, this doesn't exist. I'm just like, why? And there was a reason for it, and I can't remember specifically what it said, but basically they were just like, well, people don't usually click on those. Like it looks like spam. So that's why they discouraged it, basically.
Search posts, get a post. I'm looking at the WordPress triggers. You know what it doesn't have? I'll tell you what needs to happen. Who's got a train?
That's not me.
Oh.
Oh, you are right by the tracks, huh?
Yeah, I always forget that.
Yeah.
So
there.
What could happen is you could have WordPress when you publish on WordPress. Can it just like creates a post, updates a post? We could say when a new post is created. basically feed that information to a Google Sheet.
Yeah.
And then the Google Sheet on a timer. No, not on a timer. I guess on a timer, you could get a Google Sheet to read the WordPress once a week, say on a Friday. And then it would populate its Google Sheet with like titles in column A, summary in column B, and the link in column C.
Mm-hmm.
And then have Constant Contact create a campaign on, a Cadence Friday nights. And then it pull those fields and then just then write up this campaign email, design the campaign email to look good, and then use the variables like column A, column B, column C, and then aggregate. Oh my God, Facebook user. Let's see here. Is this the article you had?
I'm trying to get it open.
That is too.
Yes, this is yes. Unless you find a third party,
Their
yes.
reasoning. So Facebook user Faceyface says
This is the exact one I was looking at. Yes.
we generally avoid RSS feeds these days due to their harsher treatment by email client algorithms and general security checks. Interesting. The best workaround for pulling your WordPress content would be to use the read more blocks in an email.
A button. It's just a button. The read more block is just a button.
This is so manual, though.
It is manual. It is manual because you have to manually send the email campaign out every week, because you basically would have to check to see if there's new posts that have gone out in the last week, find the post, find the link for the post, and once you put in the link, it will pull in the image and description in Constant Contact. It is dumb. I'm saying, I spent all this time and I'm like, this is what it does. This is what they're recommending.
That is too funny, man.
Yeah. And in MailChimp, it's so simple. It's so simple.
I can't believe this.
I know. It's an RSS feed.
And these guys got booted. This particular client got booted from MailChimp, so that's not an option.
Yeah, right.
This is and mind you, this is not a dig. This is the first client. Let's make something so basic more difficult. And what Faceyface is getting at here is this. So I'm reading a book right now that, girls, at some point, you gotta read it. I've said this in every huddle for the last week. Exponential Organizations. And they profiled the Fortune 100 companies in 2001 for what they considered exponential technologies: AI, automations, big data, robotics. And these companies, they were ranked based on how many of these, because if you use big data plus AI, it's compounded. If you use automation plus AI or big data, it's compounded. So they said, we'll see where these companies are, and they made their prediction. These companies will be out of business if they don't use at least one form of exponential technology. And this is an example.
Yeah.
This is an example of, you mean I have to do this? There's no way you mean
I know. And that's why I said it's not a stuck, because I was like, but I have Googled and Googled and Googled, and there's not a straightforward way that's current that works. We're going to have to have a workaround. Nutty. It's going to have to be a workaround. I mean, I was going to offer to manually do it for them every week for a fee. Because it would take us no time at all, but it seems crazy to me. I don't know the level of development they're going to want to put into just having this type of email,
Yeah, have we quoted the client?
Well, we quoted, and that's the thing, is that I quoted originally based on the information I had from the article. So I quoted incorrectly now because it's not possible with that. And I've only spent an hour total on this.
I'll take a look at it, just to see.
There's got to be some simple way to get the net effect. Without. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and if it's true, if this isn't just, puff and smoke here, due to harsher treatments by email client algorithm and general security checks, What does email have to do with RSS feeds? Nothing.
Well, I thought what that meant was like email client algorithms, like how often those are opened when people
Well,
receive
like
them.
spam checks is basically security checks and spam checks. Yes, we know that email algorithms like Google and Gmail and Microsoft Outlook, we know that their spam checks and their security checks are just getting harsher and goofier. We have client emails that disappear into the ether all the time.
Yeah.
But how RSS feed works is there's no RSS feed information that goes out in the constant contact. The RSS feed is to fill the email
Yeah.
campaign. And so are they saying that they put RSS feed information into the email? That would be silly. Why wouldn't it just populate? You know? So it does sound like they're blowing a little bit of smoke and just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're saying RSS feeds are not being supported often, so we're not going to support them. So then my thought is, well, does WordPress have a better way to pump out?
Well, and
That's not RSS driven.
yeah, that was my other thing was like maybe there's a way to do this in WordPress, like instead of doing it from Constant Contact. Is there another way to do this? So
there is, and it's SMTP. It's the SMTP email program plugin that we've used before, and then from there you can generate emails. But that has been super buggy because that is at risk. That does have encoding in its email headers that doesn't always work great. So it is mind blowing. It seems to me like Constant Contact is like, we're just going to go out of business. Yeah, MailPoet. So Facey Face. This is the one, Facey, that our client has used. Still super buggy. Like, I mean, how often does the client we know who uses MailPoet? How often are they?
It pauses all the time.
It
pauses
self-pauses.
sending. Yeah, and it doesn't even half the time it doesn't make sense. And you contact them, and they're like, "Oh, we turned it back on. You can send again." And it's just like, what?
Why did it turn itself on? It's like, I don't even know.
Yeah,
I don't know what's happening.
So
now,
it's a weird
chances are that's like a plugin conflict elsewhere. But it's like, why is this even such a thing? And honestly, this is why people make excuses to like Shopify. But I think this is making an argument. When you ask yourself the question, how do I get data from a website like WordPress when someone's blogged 3 times this week? How do I send that in an email to everybody? So basically you're asking, break that down. How do I get data out of a website? Well, I could get it with RSS feeds, which is public. But what else have we been talking about today? APIs. That's really the more secure route because it's not traveling. It's traveling through the internet differently, actually. Like for an RSS feed that lives on your site, it doesn't get sent to Constant Contact. Constant Contact is monitoring that. And it's like, well, that's annoying. With an API, it's literally like sewage pipes underground that is not public facing.
Yeah.
And travels directly into Constant Contact. Jessica, does that metaphor help you?
Yes.
You made a face. She was like,
That's nice.
so real quick, we're like 2/3 or 3/4 of the way through here. How's our marketing going?
Really great.
So Jessica has been awesome in posting, and we just got a phone call from an old client. And recap the story for us in the public here. Like what was kind of said? You don't have to even mention the client's name necessarily, but how did they come back to us?
So the client, they left us a voicemail, and in the voicemail it said that they previously had us managing their site, and they wanted to come back to us because the people who are currently managing it promise things that they aren't able to actually do. He really wanted to have a blog on his site, and they told him it wasn't possible. And I
Oh my God. We get such a bad name, man. People are wild.
Yeah. And then he just wanted them to do some things like to help him with marketing. And they were just grabbing like photos that he had already posted. They weren't creating anything new. And they were just kind of like reposting his old content. And he also said that he had been watching what we had been doing with our marketing and the direction that we had taken, and he was very impressed.
Yes.
Which was super cool. And I was talking to him about, I was just kind of like spreading some breadcrumbs for you, Grant, for when you talk to him. I was talking to him about how we have the content for a year and how we've been offering that to some of our clients.
Jessica, close the deal and get the commission. Take it home.
So, but yeah, and he was really nice to talk to. Real nice guy.
Yeah, he is a nice guy. I remember when he left us. I remember, I don't know if it's the same agency that he left us for, but he told me, this agency, they do everything. Now when they set up Blogs Not Possible, they might not be lying, because I do believe even before he was off our system, they had redesigned his site. So we do need to like look under the hood and see if it's still a WordPress site and what it does. But great work. And I don't mean with the call, but I do mean that too. I mean, have you girls noticed business pick up in the last like 6 weeks?
I feel like it has. Like, we have been just constantly busy with new stuff.
What were you going to say, Jessica?
I was just going to say I've noticed more engagement on our posts.
And could we honestly point to any particular thing that changed?
I mean, I haven't looked at any of the analytics at all.
No, I don't think
it's just like consistency. Like,
yeah.
I think that the level of quality of content that we pulled from our live event, shout out to We Are Lost Boys with Ernest. We're going to bring him back at the end of this quarter. I was talking to our new awesome partner, Nicole Bradham, about this very same thing of, it's an opulent snowball of sorts. Yes, we do live events because we do earn money and we check off the boxes of our brand values at the same time. Yeah. So that's a win-win. But even if it was break even, we get the amazing content and the follow-up is just nutty. Yeah. There's a higher level of trust. You girls have been talking to the hospital doulas after the fact, and the level of trust is higher. You even almost had a glitch, a communication glitch with the ladies at hospital doulas, and it was completely smoothed over because the level of rapport and relationship has. So, like, to me, it's an abundant snowball, an opulent snowball of let's just keep doing. Not keep doing the same thing. Let's keep going this direction because you get phone calls like this and you're like, I think we're onto something with content for a year, content for life. And then what we were talking to Nicole Bradham of like maybe ramping up. Can we come into your business once a quarter and capture content for you?
Yeah.
Can we just do that for you? And then with stuff.
It makes you feel so much better. Like, we all started walking around with like a different tune in our step when we
changed our headshots. All of us changed our headshots that day of.
Like, immediately. It was like immediate. I went on every social I have and changed my headshot because I was like, yeah, I look great. Thanks, Ernie.
Yeah.
It really makes a difference. And just knowing that, like, when Jessica is creating her content, she has that to pull from.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. There's just always a folder of stuff.
And like, if you think about the pressure of that we each individually had on ourselves in prep for that event. What am I going to wear? How am I going to look? Am I taking care of myself? Am I rested? Do I know what I'm going to talk about in my slides? The prep for a live event quarterly, honestly, is self-care. I think, because we get into like num-numville with the monotony of tasks, and then we look for autopilot. Meanwhile, how hard is it for us to get to our reading, people, and our personal development? But when you got to step up and talk in front of people, you're like, I really got to know what I'm talking about. I got to be present and anchored. I got to make sure my beard is trimmed, that I'm shaved, that I look presentable. And, like, we got our photos and they weren't all sexy, right? Like, you girls,
we critiqued them immediately.
We did. We're like, oh, there's Grant's chub, and it's like, what? I mean, so you do. I mean, so to me, I think it's a continuation of this idea of one of our, I don't know if it's our brand values or if it's our brand promises, but like transparency, isn't that one of ours? This idea of transparency isn't only the outside looking in, it's us looking at ourselves honestly.
Yeah.
And to me, like, there's no better feedback loop than to step into a live room and all of the benefits that come out of that and go, we actually know what we're talking about or we don't. We actually have something to offer or we don't. And Marissa's like, y'all's headshots are litty. So I just think I think the direction we're headed has to be, and I wish it for more people. And you mentioned this about Carl. I would love it if our clients would take us up on doing for themselves what we're doing for ourselves.
Yeah.
Forcing yourself to be on camera, forcing yourself to deliver. I mean, that's what this show is.
Yeah.
That's what this show. Are we present? Are we here?
Yeah.
Jessica put on her shirt. Amber.
Listen,
She's wearing
like
a shirt.
this shirt.
What'd you say?
I like this shirt. It's very
It's a great
soft.
shirt.
It's
We were
denim.
talking about our denim jackets, Jess.
Thank goodness. Like,
Okay, so I am just gonna make.
I'm
it
about
my
to
own-
order you a. I was looking at our website and I was like, man, I'm just gonna order Amber one of these mugs and send it to her.
Please do. It's literally a time thing. Take the corporate card and just do it. Like, I'm not trying to avoid giving Amber a gratitude mug. She needs
I
me
don't
so
want it. I'm not grateful.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I'm gonna make us denim jackets. So everybody
it.
has to
All
work
right.
on thrifting a jacket, and then we're gonna
Oh,
figure
cool.
out like
Okay.
custom. We need to figure out somebody who can make us patches. That's what I think we need because the
Mm.
jackets we were looking at were like, come on,
They
We're
were
not
like
paying, like-
$350. Now the
Yeah.
$300 ones were
Those
looking
were sweet.
sexy.
they were
looking
fucking sweet. But
they
we
were
could do
looking
it for way cheaper. We could do it for way cheaper, and
Yeah.
I think doing it yourself is like fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so we just need to choose like a certain color of denim, I guess, so we're not all like
I mean,
mismatched. Or
So we're not all what?
well, because like the one she's wearing right now is like a lighter denim.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, like, do we all want to have the same color denim?
If we're gonna have jerseys,
they have
shouldn't
to
they match? Are you like reading between the lines? Are you saying you don't like light denim?
No, I like it. I'm just saying, like, I think that we should all, if we're gonna be matchy, like, let's match. Like,
Hell yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not particular. Are you, Grant? Like, do
No.
you like a certain
my
type
only
of denim?
My only problem is like, how does that go with this outfit? I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
But,
see,
like,
that's the other thing is that we were talking. I was like, I think I just like Western wear. Like, I want a bolo tie and a cowboy hat.
I agree with this. I hate cuts in the denim. I hate
Yeah.
it. I hate pre-cut stuff. It makes no sense to me.
I like when it's like soft. Too.
I mean, obviously, we're not going to wear denim in summer, so maybe
that's the other
you
thing.
could transition
Valid
to like
point.
some pants, Grant, and then it wouldn't look
Valid.
so bad.
Yeah, and
valid.
if you go to like North Carolina where it's chilly, you gonna need a jacket.
Yeah, I
Denim
got a
jacket.
really good puff jacket. Like, it's so cozy. But okay, denim humans, Jesus, I tell you.
We both made the face like.
So Amber, maybe you could be thinking like what your patch might do. Like we'll have our names on, but like maybe we'll have some form of the
We've
logo.
gotta
but
have the logo,
Yeah,
but I
so
want
it's-
patches that are like celebrate like the cool and weird shit we do. Like,
can we have a character like on the sleeve?
well,
Well,
yeah, I
I'm-
want to be able to add stuff to it. Like, you know, like
I like
Yeah,
that.
like I'm wondering if there's a company that like is kind of like you upload your image and then they, like they just
yeah,
it
like,
into a
$195. Yeah, $195. That's what we were looking at.
No, you found somewhere to make custom patches.
no,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
that's what I think.
That's what
we
I'm
should look
thinking
into.
about, like
I
finding
think-
someone to make the patches. And
Yeah.
then,
And then
like,
you
iron
we
on
start with
maybe.
like you get your logo and your name, and then like
Okay.
when you do super cool shit, we order a new patch. Like Jessica
Okay.
gets like the marketing kick-ass one.
I've
or-
been wanting to do this
It's
merit
like-
badges. I've
yeah,
been wanting
it's
to
like
do
that
merit
same-
badges so bad.
but with denim jackets
Yes.
and patches. And like if you want some bedazzling, I can bedazzle it for you. Like
No, like you have to be here. You have
Or,
to
like,
be
the
here for
studs.
you have to be here for 3 years to get studs. Like
oh, so
like-
I can get studs in December.
yeah.
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 We need to come up with like a whole guide on the website.
What the
of,
studs
like-
mean,
like a
like what
key.
color. Like Yeah, it's like the purple studs mean
And then
like
we can do like patch recognitions on our live shows. Like today.
That I'm totally down. And if someone's been a
So
Spark
dorky.
member of the resource library as a monthly member for a year, we'll send them a blank jacket.
oh yeah, people could like build their jacket with us.
Oh my gosh.
Denim
And our community
jacket.
events would be so awesome if we had all these people wearing their
You're welcome.
jackets.
Aren't you?
And then like we
aren't
got to
you
do it
so
like how do
glad?
we do black tie events? We got to figure out how to like button it all the way up and then put a bow tie or a
Listen.
bolo. It could just be a bolo.
Listen, I'm telling you, you can dress up a denim jacket. You can do anything with denim, okay?
I'm
Y'all saw my
kinda-
outfit at Catapult last week. It was all denim.
Yeah, I
I'm kinda
mean,
digging
It
and
was denim.
I'm sure that Abdiel would have some fashion like
We'll
gotta
bring
get
him on the
suggestions
show.
for him.
Yeah.
Like he can totally like work our style for us.
Just gotta have some
Abdel,
like
make me
high top
beautiful.
sneakers or whatever. Like
I bet you with a really super tight Chelsea boot and a tight roll. Who's Brittany and Justin? What are we talking about?
Brittany and Justin. Are you kidding?
No.
Pop royalty, Britney
Oh.
Spears and Justin
Oh,
Timberlake.
I was right with you,
Their
Grant. I was
denim-
like, this is before my time. I don't know
Their
who they are.
denim outfits that they wore to like the the
Okay.
MTV Movie Awards. They're
Oh,
like
I
head
didn't know
to
that they
toe.
were matchy.
I guess we need to look at that.
You
Grant.
guys, I'm gonna need you to catch up on your pop culture. Marissa, what is this?
What is this?
You
All
guys
right,
should be
super
Justin
friends.
and Brittany for Halloween.
What'd you say?
You and Marissa should be Justin and Brittany for Halloween and wear the denim outfit.
Justin Bieber?
No, Justin
Timberlake.
Oh, Timbo. Oh, got it. Okay, yeah. I can
He's
do
cool
that.
with Timbo. He's like, all right, I can do
I'm
that.
cool with Timbo. We're at the top of the hour, friends. Thank you for joining us, Marisi. What in the world? Thank you, Amber. What in the world? And that is Marissa's emoji for living. That would be her badge. I kind of like this direction. I think it's not a parking lot. Let's make this happen and let's capture it. And we'll even bring Abdel in and we'll capture that.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
And do our initial ones, and we'll create the code, the key code, and like, what have you learned? We've got the comms master over here.
Mm-hmm.
We got the production master over here. Wait, which there? Okay, my screen's flipped. And then we'll bedazzle them, and then we'll wear those MFers out.
I'm gonna
Like,
wear
Yes.
it. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
that's
my
gonna happen.
God.
I'm gonna be on the hunt. Everybody find your jacket.
Oh, so I have to go
by
find my own
end of
jacket.
September.
I mean, I think that I already have one. I already have one that I could use. I know. I've
Okay.
got like 3. I love denim.
Okay, this is happening. Okay, I will
So
find
just find a denim jacket. Look, just get like a Levi's jacket. Their
Yeah.
denim is the best.
one. And so let's be clear. Are we matching texture?
I
and
don't
color?
think they have to match. I kind of
Okay.
like that the idea of them being different, but like
Okay.
I don't really care.
You know what? I like the
I'm not the
personality
queen of
so
the
long
denim
as the name and logo,
Right.
like the
Placement.
default
Yeah.
is the same. And when people look, like, what are these people? And then we'll start tricking them out, and people are like, who the f are these
Yes.
people?
I can't wait.
And you
Yeah.
know what? That's marketing. It really is. It really is.
What the
We're
hell
going
are
to be
you
out of
guys
joinery,
wearing?
and people are going to be like, who are these fools?
Yeah.
Like, and it's who's got the bedazzles on?
I'm gonna bring my
can't wait.
bedazzler. Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny. Okay, girls, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you so much for another Ask Us Anything, folks. You missed it. We talked about denim. If you're late to the party, we talked only momentarily about aliens, which I'm very disappointed about. But we did touch on a super powerful tool called Make, super powerful, and content for life, and how to do that with ChatGPT. And you just missed out, and I didn't record it, so suck us. But catch us next time. Ask us if you want more information about any of this. Put it on your calendar at the end of the quarter, end of September. We're going to be doing our next IRL event. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be talking about sales. We're going to be talking about marketing. We're going to be talking about all of this stuff and more. We'll announce those titles soon, but save the date. It's coming up. Thanks, girls. Have a great afternoon. Talk to you soon.
Bye.